Racing cars, they can walk on who's to Mars. Superheroes. Hello guys, tonight, welcome back. It must be Sunday. Let's chat with me, Michael El-Bacha. I have to say, I'm quite honored tonight to talk to not just an amazing man, a celebrity that's done it all really. He's also my co-host on Let's Get Deep Radio. Hello Katcha Music. It's such an honor to have one of the nicest men I know join me tonight. The Mr. Harvey, aka Nathan Harvey, will be joining me. I'm super pumped and excited because this man deserves all the love and the credit. He's been around for many years. Many of you might remember him from the front covers of magazines. He was a Calvin Klein underwear model, as well as a TV presenter, TV host. He's done it all, as I said, and he's one of my good mates. So tonight we're going to go a bit deeper into his world. Mr. Harvey, Nathan Harvey, aka the man, someone that inspires me truly. And I hope you're all doing well out there. Thank you, Katcha. Give me a H. Give me a A. Give me an R. Give me a V. Give me an E. Give me a Y. What's that spell? Harvey. Thanks, Katcha. He will be joining me. I just spoke with Nathan. So, as I said, this guy is all about love. He oozes this. For me to be working alongside him on radio, I've got to pinch myself because I've admired this man for many years, all my life. I've got his song playing in the background, whether you can hear it, Superhero Racing Cars. So, yeah, Mr. Harvey will be joining me very shortly. Thank you so much, Katcha Music, for all that you do with all the promos. It's such a... Let's see if I can actually get him on. He should be joining us any moment. But Katcha Music, thank you so much for all that you do. For all the promos that you see. It's all Katcha Music, by the way. So it's been an absolute thank you from the heart, Katcha Music, for all that you do. So Mr. Harvey will be joining me any moment, I believe. Hello, Lucy. Does Kung Fu joins in? Just waiting for Mr. Harvey to join me. We'll see what happens there. I don't use this very often, so I'm not sure if I can. Okay, go live. Search. Let me just have a look at this. I'll go into Mr. Harvey. See if I can actually ask him. Here we are. Harvey as we speak, so hopefully you'll get that. Katcha Music, you do amazing work, and thank you so much for everything that you do. There is Harvey has joined in.
Hello. Oh, is the angle a bit wrong there?
I can see you actually.
How's that? Oh, the clip messed up. Oh, damn it! I've got to get lower.
Awesome.
How are you, mate? There you go. You can see me all right now. I'm in my garden in the backyard. I need to get a bit of an angle.
Hi, Melissa.
I messed up the picture.
That's okay.
Hi, everyone.
Joined in. Hi, Melissa.
How are you? I'm in my backyard. If I twist that around a little bit, you can see a bit of the trees. So I'll have to sit over here like this.
That's
how are
cool.
you, mate?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. It's an honor. As I said, it's an honor to be chatting with you tonight because you use nothing but LAVE. You've done it all, really, from TV presenting to modeling. You've done it, and now you are a rock star.
not quite, mate. But thank you.
Well, you're amazing.
Not even close, actually.
Well,
it's all smoke and mirrors. You know the game, mate.
So it's an honor to have you on the show, Mr. Harvey. I know that we work together on Let's Get Deep Radio. Again, I got to pinch myself every time I'm working with Mr. Harvey, the man that I looked up to all my life on the TV.
You must be covered in bruises then, mate. Where you pinch yourself all the time, because I seem to be working with you a lot lately.
I'm grateful for you, Dad. I'm grateful for you. I love you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you, mate. And hi, Melissa. Hi, Katcha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you going?
Well, I'm looking at the live little chats. I like this. Now, send a request to be in. Do I press that?
No, I've got.
Ah, cool. Oh, this is I'm an Instagram live virgin, you know.
So am I.
Not many virgin states that are left for me around in this society at the moment. So, you know, this is a first for me.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think of it? Pretty cool, isn't it?
Mate, it is pretty cool, I have to admit. Yeah, does the sound all right?
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Good, because I've got my little mic and I'm actually getting hot here because I've got the fire going here. So, like, if you look down there, we've got the fire here. And I've got my old mate Bjorn here as well, who's hanging out. He's in my one-person bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it changes every week. But don't tell changes every week. But don't tell the government that. So this is Bjorn.
Bought him chocolate and
Yeah. It was Haley last week with her 12-year-old kids and everything, and I had the rooftop tent up because I gave them my bedroom.
That's awesome. So how's it going? What's been happening? What's been happening with? I don't know. I'm going to go straight into it because you've got a show called Confessions of a C-Grade Celebrity in the Making.
Yeah, that's right. That's coming up, and with that, it's basically I've got my guitar here, and you know, I go through practice some of those songs for that, and I'm in the process of scanning a whole bunch of photos and also videos as well from all the Channel V days when I recorded people like Bob Geldof and Bush, Gavin Rossdale, who went out with Gwen Stefani, and Vinnie Paul, who is the drummer for Pantera. And so there's going to be a whole bunch of video clips in there, but the problem is that it was so long ago that they've changed all the source of the videotaping now. It's all digital, and so I've got to track down some pneumatic machines even, which are a brand of tape that no one's ever heard of. I'm so old. And SP digital things, you know, all these old tapes that you have to transfer all the stuff onto to put together the show. So
Amazing.
Yeah. So
but you've got so many stories. You've got so many stories that you want to share. Is there anything particular you'd like to kind of give us a bit of a exclusive?
For me to tell you.
Yeah. Me,
yeah, well, I told a beauty when I was on the morning show the other day when I had a guy who actually used to be my mate who was a bikie, and he came at me with a knife at DCM's one night, and so that was a beauty. So, you know, from doing all the jobs that I've done over the years, I played New South Wales schoolboys rugby, toured New Zealand, and oh yeah, that's actually, I'll tell you that story. That's a good story. So it's not just all my celebrity stuff. It's what I did growing up on the Northern Beaches, and I sailed the Sydney Hobart yacht race, and that was a really bad year. Actually, not the really, really bad year where they had the huge storm and there were a lot of fatalities, but we had a shocking year as well. And Windward Passage 2 sank, and they had to get all the crew off the boat, and a lot of the maxis snapped their masts and everything. So that was an interesting Sydney Hobart yacht race. But and so, you know, with the rugby, we went to Christchurch, and you know, I was only 17, and I think I lost my virginity when I was 17. And we're in Christchurch, and I met this lovely New Zealand lass at a bar that we were at one night because, you know, back in the day, that's the beautiful thing about the 80s and the 90s is that you could sort of, at 17, they didn't really mind you going and have a beer or two, and it wasn't such ID requirements that you have these days. And I met a lovely lass in there, and we went back and we went outside and sort of got hot and heavy in a little mini, and it was one of those old school minis, not the real minis you see now, a tiny one. And so if you can imagine trying to get jiggy with it in a mini, it was pretty difficult. Let's put it mildly. And so, you know, I managed to get the deed done, and then as it was all over, the mini kept rocking, and I was going, what the hell's going on? Why does this mini keep rocking? And you know, I opened the door, and the rest of the footy team was out there all rocking the mini, laughing their heads off because they sort of caught me in the act. There you go. That's a pretty good exclusive.
There goes Melissa says hello. Hello, Melissa. We love meeting you.
Hi, Melissa. How are you? I can see it says you've joined, but it doesn't say any actual messages. So I don't know whether I'm doing it right, but anyway, it's all good.
Well, you know, you've released your debut EP called "It's Cool to Be Kind," which was you're also a recently signed recording artist. I mean, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Well, being busy, yeah. Well, it's been really busy, and you know, the thing is, I suppose with what's happened, I'm really hot here. I'll put this on the bracket.
I'm actually yeah, I've got the fan happening, and I'm hot as.
Yeah, well, it's always a bit hot when you're around, Michael.
Should I take off my shirt?
Well, you're actually wearing something which is always an improvement. I don't mean that. No, mate. Yeah, because I'm just near the fire here, and it's actually daylight saving now. So I thought 6 o'clock it would be dark, but it isn't. It's still light. So that's a novelty at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we were talking about my EP, right? Yeah. So with
the recording, you're also recently signed recording artist, and 50, I have to say, and signed up. You must be chuffed.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was a direct referral and it's a local label now called Foghorn, and they're actually a wing of one of the most iconic recording studios in the country. And so, and Marshall, who's the guy who signed me, he actually said, "You're a strategic signing, Nathan," and I understand, because he saw the potential in me, but I lack a lot of experience because I only picked up a guitar in 2015, and so I've still got a lot to learn. And so my EP could have been done a lot better, but I did most of that when I was touring in 2019. I basically put a rooftop tent on my car and disappeared on a wing and a prayer, and that created a lot of interesting challenges, like doing the Tamworth Country Music Festival. In 45-degree heat, and you're busking, so you rock up with just a little guitar amp and a guitar, and the buskers there are like bands with a full audio engineer, mixing desk, and 5-piece band. So you're competing against all those kind of guys. So all that stuff was an amazing learning experience for me, and it still is. So practicing guitar has been something that I've done a lot in lockdown. Try to occupy myself in my time doing that, and working towards this show if it all works out, and also writing new songs as well. So I've written a few new songs as well. So yeah, all good.
Amazing. Well, Kat says loving the beard, Nathan. Kat Ferguson.
Yeah, I'm Ragnar Lothbrok. You know that guy from Vikings with the crazy eyes? Are you threatening me?
Biscuit says Mr. Harvey, next great artist.
Huh?
Biscuit.
The what?
Biscuit Rider says Mr. Harvey, the next great artist.
How come I can't see these guys? What am I doing wrong? Do I have to swipe left or something?
No, you should be looking. There should be comments coming off your screen down the bottom.
Comment. I'm not getting them. I've only just got Melissa Cremasoli joined. So maybe I've got to press a little button or something.
I think it should come up. Sometimes you got to scroll through it. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Oh, it hasn't come up yet. Maybe my Wi-Fi is a bit slow.
I'll kind of read.
Yeah. Well, if you can let me know what they say, and I'll just say hello to them. G'day, Damo. So the Biscuit Rider is one of my mates at McMaster's Beach. He's a lifeguard there, and that was a funny story how we met, because I went out McMaster's Beach and it was pretty big, and it was a big southerly swell, and I've surfed since I was like 15, so 35 years, and I just had a lapse of concentration because you walk out and jump off this rock, and I had a total lapse of concentration. It was a lull, and this rogue wave just popped up and went whoosh and just wiped me off the rocks, and my leg rope got stuck around a barnacle, and I was being sucked down, and I was reaching down to actually undo my leg rope to free myself, and it snapped. But in that time I'd been covered in barnacles and sea urchins and stuff, and I got to the beach all bloody, and Damo came down in his little quad bike and said g'day, and we've been mates ever since. He's a good fella. Yeah, so it's good up here at McMaster's. It's a beautiful place to spend lockdown in. So I know you guys have been doing it a lot tougher. So yeah,
you got amazing. I've been at McMaster's Beach, and I've had the honour to sleep on your bed.
Yeah, I gave you my apartment for a couple of nights, I think, and my neighbour complained when I got back that you were playing Kylie Minogue too loud.
I just think that's the
But don't worry, he complains a lot, and he's French and he's arrogant. But just
But it's a creative heaven where you are. I mean, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and the good thing about here, I suppose, is that there's a lot of creative people in the community as well. And like the person we had on Let's Get Deep last week, Susie Palmer, she's creative and she's my client. And so, there tends to be quite a few creatives around here. And you tend to have a way of just finding each other. You can sort of tell when you see a creative who another creative is. There's sort of a little radar, you know, straight away, you know, as you get older as well.
You mentioned clients. Like, what do you do at the moment?
Well, after I left Virgin, I used to push back planes at Virgin Australia and take them out of the tack. And then I was the last person to inspect the plane before it went out. And then we'd be on comms to the pilots and tell them when it's safe to start their engines, and then tow them to the disconnect point. And then that's when the plane takes over and starts taxiing away. So that was a great job. And, you know, obviously I lost that with what happened, because they couldn't guarantee us full-time hours, and the rent was a lot in Sydney. And I just thought I'd change my life and came up here. And so I had a girlfriend at the time, Raya. Hi, Raya, if you're watching, and we're still friends. And she's a lovely, awesome girl. And, you know, and and so she suggested I get into community access, which I did. And I went on that Mabel site, so you probably hear it on the radio where they say you can sign up for Mabel, but there's tons of hoops you got to jump through. You got to, you know, have a working with children's check. You've got to have your police check with everything. And coming from Virgin, where you get an ASIC, which is the airport security card, you get taken through the 10th degree of that. So there's no problems getting sorted for that, you know. And Susie was my first client. We picked each other based on our preferences. Like, I like playing guitar, I like the outdoors, and she picked me. And my first job, she's in a wheelchair. She has MS. But my first job with her was to take her down to see a play for Mardi Gras, which was fantastic. And so here I am with a person in a wheelchair, never done it before, in the middle of King's Cross, carrying her down the stairs because there's no access to this little theatre. And so it's interesting when you don't really know where even the brakes are on the bloody things, you know, for the first job. So it was fun.
We love you, Susie. Susie Palmer, we love you. Katcha's got a question for you.
Yep.
Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do with the community access work?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. You know why? It's funny. Everything happens for a reason, you know, and it all just seemed to fall together, and it just seemed to be the natural thing to do, especially after Raya suggested it and she said I'd be good at it. And you know, but I do it because every day you make a difference, and it's a big difference, because without you they literally can't do things. And so, you know, every day you make a difference, and you finish the shift and you generally feel elated, which is really rare for a job, you know. And so that's good. Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Ferguson and Katcha's, like, with everything that you do, what do you do? What do you do with everything that you do as well?
Usually I just do it I'm really I don't plan too far ahead. I don't really sweat when that bridge is coming up. I take the road as it comes, and generally I just let things fall in place. And I think if you just relax with it, and you know, as I got a little bit older, I've got into numerology and angel numbers and things like that, and they're making a huge difference in my life. And you know, like, I'm not spiritual as such. I'm not a tree hugger, but I'm self-aware. And as you get a little bit older and a little bit wiser, I'd like to think you become more self-aware, and you start to, like, really look at the interactions you have with people, and you can tell when you're getting the good energy or whether they're draining you, and then you make those decisions, and then you follow this. I've always based my decisions on happiness, my own happiness, as well as the people around me. And so, you know, and generally they're all pretty laid back kind of jobs that involve with communicating with people or doing something in one way or another, helping people, I'd like to think. So yeah. And it's well, when I took the Virgin job, I had a choice of being a beer rep for Carlton United Breweries, and I made that choice to do the Virgin thing because, you know, I probably would have been done for DUI in the first week, and then I probably would have lost my license, and then I would have this stuff. So I thought I'll do Virgin. It's probably a smarter idea.
I've got Shane Shanio at 97.7 asked, tell us about your first music gig. How did you feel about it?
Oh, mate, I went and played at my lovely friend Jasmine's restaurant. She was having sort of a brackets and jam night, and I was that nervous I dropped the guitar. I was shaking so much I dropped the guitar, had to pick it up again, and then started playing, and it was flat as a tack. And I got probably more likes than I've ever got for anything musically since. Because then I started sending god awful horrific demos to friends and never got answers and stuff. But I think people were just stoked I was having a crack. But it's funny when something big comes up, you still realise that people are actually listening a bit and watching. And I told you this before, Michael, is sometimes you find out that your biggest fans are the silent ones that don't say anything. And I won't say fans, supporters. They're not fans, they're supporters or friends. Fans is a stupid word. Just your friends, supporters. That's what they are. If they're going on the journey with you, then that's what it is. You know.
Yeah. Well, Melissa's hit the nail on the head. There's nothing more rewarding than helping others. True fulfillment. That's right.
It
Melissa.
really is. Yeah, and I would strongly suggest to anyone, if you're feeling a bit down, is to help other people, because in helping them, it makes you feel better about yourself as well, and it completes the circle. You know, and I would strongly suggest do that. It's one of the best things you can do. And you get a little bit addicted to it, actually. And you know that, Michael, because you go around helping people all the time. And, you know, and you've been a big influence on the way I've behaved as well, because I've been led down the garden path a few times. And, you know, and you snap out of it, Nate, you know, and that's what friends are for, you know. So, yeah. And the same with you, man. We've all had really tough times and you know, and quite some time ago, I made the decision to get rid of certain friends. And, you know, after you finish doing TV, you realise very quickly who your friends are, you know, the people who keep ringing. And
you know what, like the 90s heartthrob, you had it all, really. You had it all. You did. Yeah. What do you do? I mean, looking back now, what do you make of that fame? And why did you leave that fame? It
was surreal, man. It really was. No one can really... And the thing is that my fame is such a fraction of what the worldwide guys will have, you know, and so you can actually see why it drives them insane. It's particularly if they've been striving for it their whole life, because then it happens and then it's a big letdown because suddenly they lose all their privacy. You know, I remember days I was going and eating at Macca's with a dirty hangover, and I'd get, you know, 14-year-old girls come up and they just wouldn't leave me alone, and you just want to say, you know, I'm sorry, but you do, but you can't. And so that's a way you have to change the way you live your life, you know, and that can be very sobering, especially if you're not ready for it, especially if you're expecting it and it doesn't chop up to what it could be. But for me, it was an accident, really. I did my job because I liked the work. I enjoyed doing TV shows, doing segments and stuff. I enjoyed modeling, you know, that was fun too. We went to different places and stuff, and so I did it based on happiness. And if you do it based on happiness and what makes you happy, then I don't think you'll ever make the wrong decision in what job that you do. So, yeah.
Amazing. We're definitely hit with all the girls. I was thinking, are you still hit with the girls these days? They still hit with you?
No, there's none. There's some swans out there on the lake. I feed some little finches with some native bird seed every day. There's probably a chick there. It's quite sad, really, isn't it? I've been celibate for a while. I'm a monk now. I used to be the Pope of the Church of Perpetual Indulgence. Now I'm the monk of the fucking, I don't know.
Now, I know
I eat chocolate. Do you know why? Because I am, and I'm an adult, and I can. I'm about to smoke a cigarette too, as well.
I'm just thinking, you're doing the music thing. Do you still chase fame?
No. I never did chase fame, and so there's no point in starting now. So I never really did chase it. It was, you know, everything that I do is just like anyone would do if they're working in an office, you know, to enhance their career. So I suppose, yes, I am chasing fame because that will enhance my career. And so I guess I could be telling a lie, but I don't chase fame for the glory of it or to be, you know, go, oh, I'm famous, you know. If anything, I'd chase it so I could make a difference in doing something, you know, something that's worthwhile, whether it's a charity or something. And, you know, people say, oh, they jump on the charity bandwagon, and I'll tell you, a lot of people do, but I've always tried to do it on something that I actually feel passionately about, and never accept any money for it either. So, you know, that's an important one.
Talking all about that amazing charities, you did something amazing for the LGBTQI plus community. You're 90 in the 90s, where AIDS wasn't talked about. Here you are in your fame, you know, the most famous person on TV, helping the.
I wouldn't go that far, but I was going pretty good then.
You're definitely a celebrity, mate. You definitely had it. But it would have been easy for them to turn around, these big guns and say, see ya, get off TV. We don't want you to be, supporting the LGBT community with AIDS. I mean, thank you so much.
Well, fortunately, the industry that I was in, it was there were a lot of like gay and LGBTI community members in that industry, because that's the industry that they would naturally work in, because they like it. It's creative, and and a lot of people in the community are like that way inclined. And so, but it's certainly a time when there was a lot of stigma going around because of AIDS, because the wider community was blaming it all on the LGBTI community, and you had lots of people poofter bashing and stuff, they called it, in Hyde Park, and a lot of those people were actually people that were like yourself, Michael. They were battling with their sexuality, and they hadn't come out, and so they were a lot of the ones that were actually doing the bashing, because they found it unacceptable that they felt that way, and they're feeling the pressure, and so they bashed others, which was a real shocking time, and then you had people like dropping like flies as well because of AIDS, and it was a very tough time, and I was asked to talk in the Sydney Swans locker room about homophobia, and because of my rugby background and stuff as well, I did a talk there, and the CEO of the AIDS Trust, Terry Trethowan, was there and offered me a role as the governor on the AIDS Trust after that, and so I did that for 5 years, which was fantastic. A really, really great experience, that I've made some lifelong friends from that, and probably from that I met you the first time, and everyone else. And so, a lot of people think that I'm gay. Like, a lot of people in the community automatically think that I'm gay because I have so many gay friends. But geez, I may have like had a sniff like back one day back in the 90s. I may have, but that's about it. They're still trying to convert me ever since.
Absolutely.
And don't worry, Bjorn's single, mate.
I'm never buying chocolate for you again. Single forever too, mind you, Mike.
Yeah. And how about you, Michael? Anyone on the horizon for you now that you're an international modelling man of mystery?
No one, sadly. No one.
The flying kebab, are you kidding me?
Flying kebab. This is what Nathan calls flying kebab. I love it.
Well, ever since it was, what was that wrestler's guy's name you had on the show? DJ Sonic.
Which one?
DJ Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Sonic is
well, I decided your wrestling name was going to be the Flying Kebab.
That's right. I've always wanted to wrestle in that arena.
Yeah. Well, what did I say? I said it'd be great if this guy could like do a tag team wrestle and go and beat mix the song and then come back on and do, and just make it like a party.
And look, I have to say, your radio right now with me, oh my God, you are just amazing, and you're killing it. You're actually, I'm listening back to these shows on Let's Get Deep. Wow, I'm learning a lot from you just by doing the shows with you. So I want to say thank you so much for that. And for
absolute pleasure, mate. And, as I said to you before, this is your baby, though. And for all the listeners that are listening, Michael, I'm really proud of him, because the first time I went in there, he was an announcer, and he was raw as, and he was umming and ahhing, and he was scared shitless of the desk, didn't want to go anywhere near the desk, and then he got to do the desk, and then we went into lockdown, and he's been putting all these shows together on Zoom and pretty much coordinating it all. I might send him a bio of one of my guests like an hour before the show and put him on the spot and say, it's your baby, mate. But
yeah, it is our baby.
I'm loving it.
It's what we're creating now is you. You're amazing, and
yeah. Well, I'm loving doing it, and it's great. It's fantastic meeting all these people, and I think it's important just to stay in the loop a little bit and stay in touch, and every time I do have a chat to people, we're always trying to get positive people in, because positivity is something we really need now, and so it's been a great experience, mate.
Oh yeah, it's been great. I'm loving it. As I said, I got to picture myself. Here we are watching you going, oh look, what were you on? Dolly magazine front cover.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, well, I was on the first ever Clio all-male front cover. And Brad Fittler was on there with me, the old footy player, and who else? Stuart Bedford Brown, who was a surfer, and a couple of fashion designers. I think even was it Dave Evans, maybe Dave Evans from Hugo's, and a few different people. And yeah, so that was fun. And I got the Bachelor of the Year was fun because we went down to Melbourne one year, and all the Sydney boys created havoc, and they never invited me back after that year. Let's just say the carousel on Albert Park Lake was jiving.
Thank you, fine agent. Says dynamic duo. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
very sweet, Nathan. Cat Ferguson.
Oh, what? Sorry, another question.
The flying kebab. Melissa's like, the flying kebab. I'm just reading some of the comments.
All right. Is any more questions?
Sweet Nathan, Cat Ferguson, and Damn. Is it Damn Fine Agent? Thank you. Dynamic duo.
Who wrote that? Dan.
Yeah.
Brendan.
Yeah, man. So look, I know we're going to run out of time. Do you want to do a number for us, Nathan?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be. I was thinking about doing a happy one, but then I thought I might do a deep one. What do you reckon?
Whatever you like. This is your show. This is.
What do you reckon, Beyond? Should I do a happy one or a deep one?
I reckon you should.
A bit of both.
A bit of both. Damn it. That's
cheer them up at the end.
Yeah.
At least.
And well, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome the one and only Mr. Harvey.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to play an Everlast song. I've always loved Everlast, and one of my mates up here is a bit of a bluesy guy. It's his favourite song. He goes, "You do a really good version of it," and so I'll give it a crack. And it's a song that's sort of, I think, very valid for this moment, because a lot of people are scared, right? And they really don't know what to do. And so this song, in its lyrics alone, it's a bit of a juxtaposition, because it's sort of like, well, I could do this, but then if I do this, what are the consequences? And it poses a lot of questions, this thing. And you know, the lyrics are like, you know, there's a monster sleeping under my bed, but there's an angel touching my head. And so, you know, which is true. And, you know, with all the arguments and stuff that we're having these days, I've lost my paper. Who's that? Did you see it?
Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan is coming back.
Yeah, with all the arguments that we're having these days, you know, I think, you know, we've just got to find some balance, and this is sort of asking the question of how do we battle certain things that are going on in our mind, and how do we overcome them, and what are the questions? Are we asking the right questions, and are we going to get the right answers? So that's sort of what this song's about. So it's one of my favourite songs of all time, and Santana, you know, Carlos Santana is an amazing Latin guitarist. He normally plays a solo, but obviously I can't do that. And so this is called "Put Your Lights On."
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Harvey.
Da, 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 da. Hey now, all you sinners, put your lights on. Put your lights on. Hey now, all you killers, put your lights on. Put your lights on. Hey now, all you lovers, put your lights on. Put your lights on. Hey now, all you children, leave your lights on. Better leave your lights on, 'cause there's a monster living underneath my bed. It's whispering in my ear. There's an angel, hand on my head. Says I got nothing to fear. There's an object in my soul. Says I got a purpose to serve. Shine your light down into my hole. Hope I don't lose my nerve. Hey now, 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 all you sinners, put your lights on. Put your lights on, hey now. All you children, leave your lights on. Better leave your lights on, 'cause there's a monster underneath my bed, whispering in my ear. There's an angel in the head of my head. Says I got nothing to fear. La, diddy da da, diddy da. Shine like stars. La, diddy da da, diddy da. You'll shine like stars, and then we fade away. Here we go. I don't know how that sounded. Was that all right, Bjorn?
It sounded
Good.
Was it?
Thank God for that. I watched it back and cringe.
good. I hear you very clearly.
You've got this is some of the comments here.
Yeah, I can't read them. Yeah, sorry, man. I don't know.
Yes, Nathan, love this track. Catchy music. Good as Atron says, yes, Nathan.
Goodatron, he's it's Anthony Gowdy. How are you, mate? He's one of the senior training captains at Virgin Australia, who's become my very good friend because I used to talk to him every time I pushed his plane out. And he's a mad Roosters fan, so you know I took great delight when Manly smashed them in the semi-final. But but Parramatta went down as well, mate. So condolences to you as well, Michael El-Bacha.
I know.
You got your Parramatta hat on.
Melissa says, awesome, love it, Nathan. Scott 1602, great chat, boys. Thank you,
Yep.
Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Scotty.
Yep. And then Kat Fergus says, cheeky, Michael. I don't know why. I'm not cheeky.
Yes, you are. You are a cheeky little. You're a cheeky little bugger. You really are.
I'm a cheeky baba ganoush.
Oh, you're not a little bugger. You're 6'2". You bloody tower over me. I still call you my little brother because I'm allowed to because I'm over 50 now.
We're brothers. Yeah, as I said, so good.
Do you like my lockdown beer?
I love it.
I'm going a little bit crazy.
It suits you.
Well, thank you. My father's always had a beard, and so you know, this is the first time I've grown it past that itchy phase. You know that itchy phase you get, and it's like, ugh, and you're doing that all the time, and so there's a bit more salt in it than I'd like, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Looks
Salt
good.
and pepper, more salt.
I think Scott B says, Nathan, Michael, are you manners? Manners? Where are your manners? Where are our manners?
We don't have manners. Manners are out the window.
Katcha Music wants us to take off our shirts. Okay, then.
No, you don't want to see mine, man. I put a lot of work into this bad boy, Michael.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The old COVID
Yep.
gut.
Looking good,
Well,
mate.
Well, I just tell you, it's funny as you get a little bit older, you get a bit more comfortable in your own person as well, and you don't really give a flying F about what you look like so much anymore,
Yeah,
especially when there's no one to impress.
Exactly. Look, but I think Scott B has got a point. Where are your managers? Where are Ruby Rose management?
I don't know. Yeah, that's all right. As I told you before, Michael, your best supporters are your silent ones.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've got managers. Ruby Rose Management. Congratulations, Mr. Hart.
Yeah, thank you, mate. And it's been great working with Brendan and Scott. Who it's a young agency.
Scott, look.
Yeah. Is it that Scott? I thought it may have been Scotty.
Manager under.
Geez, we got a cockatoo.
Then Ruby Rose Management.
We got it. Yeah, and it's not like Oxford Street cockatoo. It's a real cockatoo, a self-protected one that just
we want to say a big thank you to Ruby Rose Management are online. We're both stacked apparently. It is actually Ruby Rose.
Yeah, it's Scott from Ruby Rose. G'day, Scott. How are you? And I look forward to
now,
Michael and I coming to your house for dinner one time. Would be fabulous. And I'll bring my mate Cockatoo with me as well.
Does he want to get on the camera?
Yeah, I'll show you. Hang on. Yeah, hang on. I'll show you my little backyard. Because I said I was going to give you a bit of a tour. So this is my backyard.
Okay, this is the backyard.
Yeah, and I feed the birds like native bird seed, and that's the little bird bath. And I've got a family of finches that come here quite often, and a king parrot that's been coming with a mate. So you quite often see the red king parrot, but not the plain one. And so they've got a little family of those here as well. So, I try to avoid responsibilities, so I feed the birds.
What a backyard. I miss it, man. I miss the backyard.
Yeah. We've got some good photos in this place. And yeah, and that's sort of my hangout. That's where I live, That's sort of my little garden space. It's awesome. It's a little neon light of a guitar there, and it's like a cheap bar in Bali or something.
So we're running out of time, Mr. Harvey. What would you like to say to all those aspiring people that want to be Mr. Harvey?
I would like to say, stay vigilant, stay strong, believe in yourself, believe in your own beliefs, but also don't stick your head in the sand. Be aware of what's going around and try and get as much information as you can from as many sources as you can, and you can always go back to your very bestest friends. Just remember that through all these tough times, and much love to you all, and take care, because I think everyone that I've spoken to has gone through that moment during all these lockdowns, and so you just have to remember that without the dark you can't appreciate the light, and I've got my good mate Bjorn here, and he's going through a tough time, and I've had a couple of people here that have been going through tough times, and they're in my personal bubble, so fine me $5,000 New South Wales government for changing my boyfriend every week. I guess that's what I call it, my personal bubble or whatever. I'm joking. But just be good. Just be a good human. Don't pick fights, and have an open mind to other people's opinions. Just concentrate on being a good human. And together we can all get through this. But we've got to stick together. That's the most important thing.
Well, what an absolute star you are, Mr. Harvey. I love you so much. My heart aches, Mr. Harvey, mate. I'm so blessed to have you.
I'll see you on the road. Next time I'll probably see you live to face to face. I'll be out bush off the grid, mate. So I've built a camper trailer.
I'm coming after you, mate.
Have a look on my Instagram, on my profile, and you see the tent that I've built. I'm very proud of it. It's got a skylight and everything.
Absolute star. You deserve all the success in the world. Love you so much, Mr. Harvey. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this amazing show. How can people work?
What's that?
How can people stay in touch with you, with your work?
Yeah, thanks for all the messages, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't read them, but Michael conveyed them across, and it's been great having a chat, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you, mate.
Yep, no worries. Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Thank you, Ruby
Take
Rose
care.
managers.
Love you
and
all.
Katcha that managed me as well. Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone for tuning in, guys. Because
thanks, guys, and thanks,
yeah.
Mike. Always a pleasure.
You, mate.
Thank you, Habib. Signing out. This is a virgin. When the job's done, it's like we did it all cool, like. See you, mate.
Love and light.
Take care. How do I stop this?
My somehow.
Okay. Bye.